Leicester are down. Liverpool are nearly champions. LME, let's start with you here. And I thought our former ESPN FC colleague Robbie Mustoe summed it up nicely at halftime. It was dreadful, and it was two teams that knew their fate. Liverpool about to be champions, Leicester about to go down. It didn't help the spectacle, did it?
No, and I agree with you. Robbie said it perfectly. Two teams who essentially knew their fate, who were just basically waiting for the fate to actually happen. The first 45 minutes were so bad, man. I was just looking outside the window as well to try and see if anything else was going outside my house because this game was just so bad. But eventually we knew that fate will come along. And in the second half, obviously, Liverpool, thanks to a Trent Alexander-Arnold left foot finish, by the way. Donaldson, is that the first time he's ever done that? I'm not sure.
It is in the Premier League.
Yeah. There you go. Well, you know, it's a good form from him. But listen, here's the ultimate thing, regardless of what happened in 90 minutes. And we've said this forever, Janusz, myself, you can't take anything away. The fact that they're a game away, I mean, you mentioned that they can win in front of their own fans at Anfield against Tottenham. They can also do it if Arsenal lose to Crystal Palace as well midweek. But take nothing away from the very fact that Liverpool, under Arne Slot, in his first season in the Premier League, are one game away from being champions. And perhaps there's a little bit of a pedestrian way in how they're going to do it after bowing out of the Champions League and obviously losing in the Carabao Cup final to Newcastle. Nothing can be taken away from the fact that now, you know, as you mentioned, with still many matches to play and still a full month left in May as well to go, Liverpool are so close to being champions. So it was, you know, that's really the most important thing. Three points from Liverpool. The fans there at Leicester City will not be leaving, the Liverpool fans, of course. So it's a great 3 points, and wow, it's great for them that hopefully they can do it in front of their own fans next weekend.
Yeah, we'll talk Leicester later. They're down. We'll find out what's next for them. But let's talk about Liverpool right now, Janusz. They've only dropped 20 points this season. Their consistency has been excellent. They've fought on most fronts valiantly, albeit before being knocked out of the cup competitions. And they've been the best team in the Premier League. And their fans will be delighted. They'll finally get the chance to tie Manchester United with 20 top-flight titles, because that's one thing that United have over them, not many other things. And the second thing is, I think they probably want Arsenal to win in midweek so they can win the title at home in front of their own fans, because if you remember, when they did so in 2020 under Jurgen Klopp, it was during COVID and nobody was there. So it's all set up nicely, isn't it, for Liverpool?
Yes, it is. Yeah, I mean, you don't usually apologize for winning a Premier League title, so nobody's going to apologize for the way they played. I actually didn't watch it. I had an early Easter lunch. No, I'm just joking, but yeah, you know, I was thinking about it around, midway through the first half. But you know, that's what happens when there's no pressure, right? I mean, you play only as good as you need to beat an opponent, right? They had their chances, bruised up the woodwork at Leicester, that's for sure. But look, I mean, no expectation. Well, I mean, there's always expectations for Liverpool Football Club, but certainly not to win the Premier League title in such an easy way. Because in the end, I mean, Liverpool's been on cruise control and not at their best, not at their sharpest for how many weeks now? And it still, you know, looks like they couldn't give it away. So fair play to Liverpool Football Club. As you've mentioned, it's important. That is a 20th title, and you know, that evens them out with Manchester United. That hasn't gone unnoticed, of course, for those that care about Liverpool Football Club. So fair play, and you're quite right. The celebrations at Anfield would be probably ideal situation for them.
LME, how has Arne Slot gone about doing that this season?
I think, obviously, a lot of context is required here, but the number one thing would say is that he didn't necessarily need to change too much when Jurgen Klopp left. In terms of how to handle the clientele, of course, he brought in his own philosophy. Of course, we see a more controlled Liverpool, and I mean that in the sense of they're a little bit more stable with and without the ball. They're not rushing too much to gegenpress you. They're not trying to be heavy metal. So, but I think what Arne Slot did was he looked at his squad in the summer and he said, I can work with this. I don't need anything from the outside. And I think that was music to the ears of the owners. And, you know, so no money was needed to spend. It was more about trying to adjust, fix, calm, stabilize everything that already Liverpool Football Club was all about, and then make them even better. And I think that one of the most impressive things about this Liverpool Football Club this season was the fact, you mentioned, how many games they've won, and the fact that they've been almost, omnipotent at Anfield as well. But what I like is that even when things were not going well in certain matches, right? Today actually is a perfect example. They get the job done. And that's happened over and over again. And I think that sometimes, when you have really big teams and they have a particular way of playing and things are not going their way. I mean, Manchester City this season has been a perfect example. When things don't go their way, it goes catastrophically bad because players are looking at each other going, what's our plan B? What are we going to do? Arne Slot has a plan A. He has a plan B. He has a plan C. And let's not forget this. This was in a season where there was so much outside noise about Mohamed Salah's contract, Trent Alexander-Arnold, whether he was going or staying, Virgil van Dijk. Of course, all of that has been essentially rectified, but take no mistake that this was a conversation throughout almost the entire season. And Arne Slot to come in and tell the boys in the dressing room, in training, and say, look, ignore everything outside. Focus on the job at hand. And I think he did a remarkable job at doing that. It's a really, you cannot minimize the achievement, honestly. It's been an incredible achievement for Liverpool to do this.
Looking at their split, 41 points, won at home, 38 points, one away from home. They've been excellent. Janusz, you don't have to be great to win a title, although if you are, you usually win it. You just have to be better than the team that finishes second. If you were to take a carbon copy of this Liverpool season and put it into next season, and I know we're thinking ahead here, without knowing how the rest are going to do next season, do you think it would be enough to win the title next season?
13 points, that's quite a bit, since we don't know what others are going to do. If they maintain this, right, as you guys pointed out, why not? I mean, Luis has said, many things about how they achieved it. I think, part of that is also they're more balanced defensively sound. I think there's a 10 goal difference as we speak right now. That may, obviously, maybe a little bit less than that when the season's over. But I think, I remember talking to us, look at the finish to the season, right? It's going to be difficult for Liverpool. Next few games, it's Spurs, then Chelsea away, then Arsenal. I remember those conversations that it's such a tough one. So to achieve what they've achieved already, I mean, we've known this for now a couple of weeks, right? Or 2 or 3 matches, or maybe even 4. I think it's exceptional. And as I've said, they didn't have to be pressured. They didn't need to be stressed lately to achieve what they have achieved. But I do think that for Liverpool Football Club, as much as they're going to be happy about winning this title, perhaps unexpectedly, I think Liverpool Football Club is all about all the other competition. So it's not going to go unnoticed, I think, by Arne Slot and by the hierarchy to see the disappointments of Champions League, disappointment of the lost final to Newcastle and the FA Cup. So I think they're going to try to build on that. I'm not saying what the priority is going to be, but Liverpool must be very, very good in Europe as well. And we see how important that competition is. So I think there will be and should be quite a few changes. We're hearing about maybe they're not going to buy much or not. That, of course, is going to be a mistake. And we don't know if that's true or not. But they definitely need 2 or 3 key players in key positions in order to move on and push on, I should say.
See, we don't have a running order for this, but if we did, Janusz, you've set this up perfectly. Because what I'm going to do is play a little bit of a game before we get to Leicester. Play a little bit of a Liverpool game right now with you both. I'm going to go through the positions of the Liverpool squad individually for you both. First of all, Eleni, I'll start with you. Just a yes or a no. Do they need to sign or strengthen in the position, or don't they? Let's start with the goalkeeper, Eleni.
No.
Yes or no? Do they need to strengthen?
No.
Okay. Right back?
Yes.
Centre back?
No.
Left back?
Possibly.
Yes.
Number 6?
No.
Number 8?
No.
Okay. Wide right?
No.
Wide left?
No.
Number 10 / striker?
No.
Okay. Wide left?
No. Have you asked me number 9 yet?
Main one.
Because that's a yes.
Okay.
Darwin Núñez is gone. He's leaving this summer.
Yeah, he's trying so hard. It just hasn't worked for him. Janusz, let's go. Same again. Goalkeeper.
Yeah, no, I mean, they have arguably, the best in the world, right? I mean, top 3 for sure. So why would
I love the yes or no game with you.
No, well, I mean, look, if we're just wasting time, if we're going to go position by position, I'll just make it easier for you. Left back is obvious. Center forward is obvious. I would still go for creativity, although Curtis Jones, and I hope Harvey Elliott gets a little bit more time. Other than that, they're set, but they need 2 or 3 positions. I would definitely do a center back, another one. And a left back and a center forward for sure, 3 positions.
You just spoiled it for me because I was going to go right back because I wanted to know if you thought they need to replace Trent and sign a new right back.
No, because you saw him celebrating. That can only mean one thing: Trent Alexander-Arnold stays.
I don't think so, but we'll find out. So yeah, look, honestly, this is something he wants to do.
I'm a mind reader. That celebration for me means absolutely, positively, 100% he's staying. Why would you want to go to that Real Madrid team?
Well, at the end of the game, when everybody was celebrating, Virgil van Dijk grabbed Trent Alexander-Arnold, tended to push to the fans to say, and it was essentially saying, "Thank you, goodbye." So you could, a tale has 2 endings, I guess.
It does, Janusz. How would you know how he celebrated if you were at your Easter lunch?
I can sell you a Brooklyn Bridge then, maybe, perhaps.
Final words on right now. Liverpool against Spurs next week. You know what? We spoke earlier about Chelsea and how Cole Palmer had such an influential part, and when he hasn't played well, Chelsea have struggled. When Mohamed Salah has been involved heavily but not found the back of the net or not been on the assist trail of late, which has happened, he still has so much attention that others still get the glory. And today it was Trent Alexander-Arnold. With the Liverpool and the strength and the squad that they have, how important is it that Mohamed Salah is the talisman next season? Or how important is it, Janusz, that they sign someone not to the level of Mohamed Salah, but can maybe take a little bit of pressure off the Egyptian? And while he maybe needs a couple of players trying to mark him, signing a striker or signing someone else that will garner just as much attention. Short of saying, I don't know what that means sometimes, but I do think they need to sign a superstar. They need to sign somebody up there because, as I've mentioned, if you're going to be playing on 4 fronts, you just absolutely need that. Injuries are a funny thing. I don't know if Liverpool is doing something different or maybe something better to stay as healthy as they have. But remember, a few seasons ago, they had those issues. Who would have thought Manchester City or Arsenal or Spurs or Manchester United are going to have that? Are they much, much worse in that department than Liverpool in the medical department? I don't know that for a fact. Maybe it's just one of those seasons, but you can't count on that. But to ask Mo Salah to be doing this year in and year out at his age is irresponsible. There's no club and no player who should have that pressure all by himself. So for that reason alone, they need to get somebody, because Luis Diaz, if he stays, he's not going to do that for you. He's not he's not consistent enough for me to say he's going to have 15, 20 goals a season. As Luis has mentioned, Darwin Núñez isn't that player, and he's going to be most likely gone. Jota can, but he's constantly injured as well. And Hakpo had that one longer injury, capable, but you need a lot more than that. So I think you need somebody experienced, somebody that you can count on, not somebody to develop and hope that he may take the pressure off and responsibility of Mo Salah. So I absolutely think that it needs to be somebody that is proven in that department.